And my desk is still a mess. Wait 1 second. Should have pulled this up before? Alright, guys, I am a mess. So, I'll be honest with you. I totally forgot that this week was a video week. If you see that guy back there, when I made him on the other video, I thought that was I posted it on the same week, so I just assumed that this was a Sib week. And then I realized I was looking on this cool little app called YouTube channels, something like that, and it said that my video, it was what is it called? Okay, you know what? We're actually gonna look this up. It's called YouTube Studios. Wow, that was so dumb. I should have known that. So anyway, I was on YouTube Studios and I was looking at the analysis or whatever from my last video, and it said analysis from 14 days and 15 hours, and I was like, oh man, that means I'm supposed to post a video. But I have not, I will be honest with you right now, I have not actually really researched. Like, I read their stories. Like, you can look up my Bible, it's on my bed. My Bible, I have notes on Jacob and Esau. And I've looked into it, but I haven't really, like, I don't have a topic on it or anything yet. So we're all over the place. So we're just going to talk about a story that I thought was kind of funny. Like, it's very, very serious, but it's, I honestly think it's kind of funny. Just I think one of the verses in particular makes it really funny. So, as you know, we covered Isaac, and if you do not know who Isaac is, as we talked about, the child of promise, and he was promised to Abraham. Yes, and so I was reading up on his story because I was like, why not? I don't, in my mind, I was saying, oh, why not? I have another week till I have to post a video. That was a lie. But I was like, why not read the story again? And I started realizing something. So, real quick, I should have done this already, but I'm just gonna pull up this verse because it's two stories. Because I didn't pull it up, but you know what? I have it now. So, why did I go back? Okay, we're all over the place. But anyway, I was reading through their story, and then I went back and I read from Abraham to Isaac to Jacob and Esau. So I read that whole thing, and then something kind of stuck out to me that I thought was really funny. So, as you guys know, Abraham, God called him to move, and when he moved, he ended up in Egypt, and he ended up in different places. And at one point in Genesis 20, he moved south to Negev and lived in a certain area. And then he moved to another area that I cannot pronounce. And while he was there, he looked at his wife, right, Sarah, and he looked and he said like, look, you're really beautiful. Also, I imagine your man, your significant other, just looking at you, just, you're going about your business, and they're like, you know what? You're so pretty that these people would kill me to have you. That's how pretty you are. So I have a plan. Like, that's a compliment. But anyway, it's a horrible plan. Abraham goes to this nation and tells people, points to his wife and says, yo, this is my sister. Now, as you can tell, with a beautiful woman, that's not very, like, okay, I get his reasoning behind it. But when you say, yo, this is my sis, they're like, hey, she's free. I remember one time I was actually at a youth event, and my brother invited some of his friends, and his friends had never really met me before. And I'm sitting next to him, and I can just hear them whispering, and I look over, and their friends are looking me up and down, and they poke my brother and go, yo, is that your girl? And he says yes, and I'm like, oh my. And the service keeps going, and he turns and goes, no, it's not my girl. And for the rest of the time, it was really awkward, because I could, like, feel them looking at me. But here it's Abraham. This is his wife. And he goes, no, no, it's my sister. So these guys are, whatever. And Abimelech, yes, I said it right. He saw her and he was like, yo, she's so pretty. I go take her for my wife because, she's not married. So she's mine now. And God comes to him and goes, look, I know you didn't know this, but like, I'm going to kill you because you took my servant's wife. He's like, I didn't know. And God's like, I know you didn't know. So you got to go bring her back so we can fix this so I don't have to kill you. Because God is literally like, look, if you don't do this, I'm going to have to kill you. It's just the rules of the game. I'm going to have to kill you. So maybe you should go do that. Wow. I forgot that got brighter. Hello. I was like, and God's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to kill you if you don't do this. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna bring her back. And he brings her back. And it's like early the next morning. So it's like he just went to bed. God was like, yo, this guy, it's actually his wife. And this guy, early in the morning, like, gets up, brings this girl over, and is like, dude, what the heck? And gives her back to Abraham. And there's this one line. And this is what I think makes it just so funny. In verse 9, he's calling for Abraham and he says, look, what have you done to us? What crime have I committed that deserves treatment like this, making me and my kingdom guilty of a great sin? No one should ever do what you have done. Whatever possessed you to do such a thing? So here, Abimelech is like, dude, why were you so crazy? Like, who the heck has the right to do this? Who the heck has the right to say that their wife is their sister? Like, how dare you put me in such danger? Well, my dear friends, Abraham takes his wife and moves on. But that is not where it ends with this poor king. Because then Isaac, Abraham's son, goes to the same place and says that his wife is his sister. He does the same thing his dad did. Like, if there's ever been a time like father, like son, it's this moment right here. And he says, so it says in Genesis 26 verse 7, when the men who lived there asked Isaac about his wife Rebekah, he said, she is my sister. He was afraid to say she is my wife. He thought, they will kill me to get her because she is so beautiful. Again, a great compliment. But, your dad already went down this route. What are you doing, dude? And then it says, okay, let me just say, this is horrible that this happened. And I'm saying it's a funny story just because of the fact that you know who I'm talking about. He literally says, what possessed you to do this? No one should ever do this. And then his son goes and does it. But let me just say, Isaac is so much sloppier than Abraham, okay? Then again, I think Abimelech learned his lesson and he didn't like go and take Rebecca because he's probably like, yo, this is Abraham's kid. You never know. And it literally says, sometime later, Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out his window and saw Isaac caressing Rebecca. Now look, I get what you're doing is wrong. You shouldn't be doing it, and you have your own desires because she is your wife. So might as well tell people you're married. But if you're not going to tell them you're married, and you're gonna say it to your sister, at least keep it inside. Like, what? Pharaoh looks out his window and sees you like cuddling your. Anyway, yeah, immediately he called for Isaac and said, she is obviously your wife. How dare you say she is your sister? And, yeah, and then I feel like at this point, the king, the pharaoh, whatever he is just so done. And he goes, look, anyone who touches this man, like, not even anyone who touches his wife, it's anyone who touches this man or his wife, like, both of them, will be put to death. I'm like, it's like, I don't even care what you're doing. If you touch them, just leave them alone. And, like I said, it's kind of, and then, they get peace later on or whatever. I just think it's kind of funny just how this happened twice. Like, here is, a lot of the times we think about people in the Bible and we think about how perfect they are and how God called them out of nothing and created them something huge. and how they did it so effortlessly. But when you look at the stories, like, it's not that, like, two people from the same line did the same thing and almost killed the nation twice. Like, this poor nation, this poor king, like, he's just minding his own business, and people were like, yeah, I'm gonna pretend my wife ain't my wife in your nation. So yeah, I just wanted to share that story because if you didn't know that, go read it. It's Genesis 20 to 26, like chapter 20 to chapter 26. Um, Obviously not that long. It's chapter 20, 11 verses, and then 17 verses, and then chapter 26, 11 verses. But yeah, if you didn't know that story, that's just a cool little thingy in there, like father, like son, monkey say, monkey do, whatever you want to call it. But I also want to encourage you that if you think you're a mess up and that, I feel like sometimes we can get stuck in the thing of my dad did this, so I'm going to do this and then God can't use me. Well, no. You have a decision. Choose to lay the next path, lay the next foundation. Change the root of your family. Change the story. Yes, don't and take ownership. If it's your wife, it's your wife. It's not that big of a deal. No one's gonna kill you for your spouse. Hopefully. But yeah, if you guys liked this little video, give it a thumbs up, share with a friend. I love the support, guys. I guess I'll see you next week too with the actual podcast. And yeah, peace out.